what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
When you wake up in the morning and the light has hurt your head, the first thing you do when you get up out of bed is hit that streets a running and try to beat the masses. Go get yourself some cheap sunglasses. Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 62, volume 4 of a super special summer movie blockbuster spectacular edition of Big Fan. My name is Chad East, and I'm a big fan of the thought of Shark Week on Discovery Channel, but not actually watching any of the shows. You know?
Okay.
The excitement of my oldest daughter getting her license next Tuesday. And last but not least, keeping in line with our super special summer movie blockbuster spectacular theme, my first visit back to visit my dear old friend, the theater.
The theater.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My name is Hank Eimer, and I'm a big fan of the MLB All-Star Game being back out in front. Yes. Insulated cups during the blazing summer, and vacation plans that start tomorrow, baby.
Here we go. And actually, before we move to the vacation that starts tomorrow, you have used the insulated cup one at least 3 times. So you must be a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan.
Yes. Okay. Good. So let's start.
It's funny. You know what?
What?
You really pay attention to me. I can't tell you. I don't know any of the things that you care about because it's like I go into a coma when you start talking. I don't even listen.
Well, my top 2 things that I remember that are your favorite things are VIP boxes at Crawdads and insulated cups. All right, so there you go, sir. Are those whose sunglasses are those right there, dude? Those are my sunglasses.
This is unbelievable.
This is unprecedented.
The Ray-Ban Polarizer right there.
Because I came in the studio yesterday for a minute thinking we were on.
They're right there on the stool, pal.
Unbelievable.
High fives.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to get up.
I thought they were from John's show last night. We're leaving this in the podcast.
Let's talk about sunglasses. So, Hank, as I told you before this podcast started, I lose sunglasses left and right. I cannot keep a pair. So, until just this exact moment, I thought I had lost my second pair of the week. Come to find out, they were in the studio that I showed up yesterday thinking our podcast was on a Wednesday. It's transitioned to a Thursday. Took my sunglasses off in disgust, laid them on that table, and took off. However, hallelujah, they are here.
You know what? I've got a question for you.
Shoot.
Is there any device out there that we could use to keep them on you? Because it seems like there's a hard line between the croaky guy and the non-croaky guy. You know?
I am a non-croaky guy.
As am I.
Are you sure you've never worn a croaky?
Please. I'm not judging the people that
Yes,
do.
okay.
I just don't like the feeling. I feel like I'm going to break the sunglasses as
Sure.
I'm manipulating them around my head.
Yeah.
But I would think 3 sunglasses in a week, you've got to find a device that's going to help you with this. And, I can go on and say you could put them, tuck them in your shirt or put them in your pocket or do whatever you got to say. But at this point, I think an investment, small investment, maybe even some string. Let's start with string. Let's see if Chad can put a string around his sunglasses to see if we can get there first.
I was thinking a little bit more technologically, if I can, Hank. What about a little sensor, and you simply apply it to the inside of your sunglasses, and it's got a little device that will send a signal to your phone. Here are your sunglasses. When your sunglasses are missing, you just go to the little app, and it says your sunglasses are left in the Walmart bathroom stall, or your sunglasses are left at the Hickory Crawdads concession stand. I could be onto something here, right?
Or walking across the downtown area on somebody's forehead after they just picked them up. No, I think you're on to something.
True. Good point.
I think you're on to something, but it's called the Tile. Tile
Yes.
does this.
That's keys, though. I'm talking about sunglasses.
I think they're trying to change this technology to put it on sunglasses. So I think that they're going to have these. They have the wallet finder, the key finder. They've got all
Okay.
these different ones.
But no sunglass finder.
No,
Hank.
no.
That's what I'm talking about. Let me invent this. Thank you to our producer, Moose, who's popping up all the things that we could potentially buy to protect my sunglasses. And again, 109 different things to buy, but not one sunglass finder. Let's go.
All right.
Do you have $12 to invest in the sunglasses?
Not in yours. In the technology, I do.
That's
but
what
not
I mean. Not in my
I'm not
sunglasses.
buying you your croaky, okay? That's what that was getting ready to be. I'm not buying the croaky.
Gosh, what a great day. I've been distraught for 24 hours. Another pair, Chad. I talked to my daughters. My wife's all mad at me. You can't keep anything. Well, guess what? I've got them now. Look where they're going, Hank. Right here.
Right
See?
there.
Right
Well,
here.
listen, as we were talking, the Orbit glasses looks like it has some sort of tracking device on it. It's in the stem.
Oh, it's in the stem. That's
Okay,
kind
it's
of
in
what
the
I'm
stem.
talking about.
So maybe we need to get you one of these things that you can actually put on your glasses. I'm sure they'll look terrible, but at least you'll have them when you need them.
At this point, looks are right out the window. I just need to make sure I have them. I possess them. I don't lose them any longer.
Maybe a fanny pack. Maybe you could do that. I think a good fanny pack is always welcome at a meeting when you're talking about envelopes.
Excuse me, sir. Let me reach into my fanny pack and grab you my business card. Hang on. Zip. There you go. Boom. I mean, that's so impressive.
Solid.
So impressive.
Solid.
All right, Hank. Well, anyway, it's good to be back in the studio. We've been gone for the last couple of weeks. You've been on quite the adventure. You know, I'm anxious to tell you about my daughter's adventure to Dallas, but let's start with you. Baseball, tournament, Florida, Disney World, heat, hot dogs. Hot dogs.
No.
Did we try? Why didn't you try the hot dog? I thought you were definitely. Guys, to the listeners who remember the podcast from 3 weeks ago, I heard this rumor that the hot dogs at Disney World are terrible, that make you sick. Just a rumor. I posed that question to you if you were going to try one and risk it, and the answer was
Absolutely
a firm
not.
no.
Okay, so let me tell you about our trip. So we
Let's
had
start.
3 days in the park, and we went from Epcot the first day to Animal Kingdom to Magic Kingdom, okay, in that order. Now, I was staying down there with another family, and this family goes to Disney every year, and I think we've talked about this. They're like the resident expert.
Yes.
I don't think you know how impressive it is when you have somebody that has knowledge that you don't have, that can navigate a park like that, and they just pull you along. I felt like, you know, those kids that have the bear backpacks on that had the leash hooked to
yes.
it. You know, that's how I felt.
Oh, really?
I felt like I was being drug around, but you know, in a good way. You know, you can't have a lot of chiefs. You got to have some Indians in there, right?
Sure.
And so we would head to the park. He's slamming coolers into the car the morning before I'm even getting out. You know, I'm coming out, sunscreen getting applied and everything else. Right. He's putting coolers in. He brought a stroller so we could put our coolers in the stroller. We don't have kids this small enough. So we
Strollers for the coolers.
It's because we had 3 coolers. Okay.
Wow.
So we are hitting the park. We're getting there early. We're getting in our car by about 6:50 because we want to be there at 7 when the gates open, because rides like Avatar and Test Track and all these rides get long lines. So we are on a furious pace in these parks.
And hold this thought. I had a dream. I don't know if I dreamt it or if it was reality. When the gates open at 7 a.m., do bells and stuff start going off like ding dong, cling clong?
There's some music.
Enter here.
I don't know that part.
Disney World welcomes you. Something like that.
I don't remember
but
that.
Something did happen when the gates
Yeah,
opened.
I think there's music and everything else. But, you know, they open the main gate and then they have other gates to like corral you.
Sure.
So they're like, all right, we know that these people are going over to Avatar. We know that these people are going over to Space Mountain. We know that these people are going over there. So they can like open it accordingly, I guess. So we get in this park, and let me tell you something. These rides are really good. And I don't know if I told you before, I get kind of freaked out over the 3D ride.
You mentioned.
Stomach's getting a little tense. Mm-hmm. First ride we go out to is Avatar, which is amazing. It is amazing. The fact that they strap you in this seat, that screen opens up, you are diving and soaring, and water's hitting you, and they are pumping essential oils in there to get you to smell things that make you think things. Like you're swooping down the prairie, right? And these rhino things are jumping around, and you're smelling dirt from what they're knocking up. It is amazing.
Top 5 ride of all time?
It's great.
Yes, okay.
It's great. But there was one point that I was like starting to get a little nauseous up in here. And I turned around and I looked straight behind me. Now, I felt like I was riding one of these Banshees, right?
Yes.
Around there. I turned around and I looked behind me. There's a wall. Just a wall right there. And I completely I was like, all right, now I'm riding.
You got out of the
Yeah.
the element that you were feeling at that
Right.
moment. Yes.
Right. So I get back in there. But I will tell you, we had snack breaks and, we brought a lot of our food. I will tell you, though, there are people in there spending $10,000 with these breakfasts and they're spending their life savings up in there.
So whose idea was it to bring the coolers? That's brilliant. I didn't even know you could bring coolers in there, but I guess someone who has been there before, who is the expert, knows, let's bring the waters, let's bring all the snacks, let's bring whatever we've got to do, because I don't want to pay $23 for a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Smart.
the guy that took us, we brought 30 waters in one cooler.
Wow.
Right. We brought lunch in the other.
Yes.
And we brought something else in the other. But it was to the point where the things we were buying were like ice cream and sodas and stuff like that we wanted something different. Right.
How much is a Mickey Mouse ice cream, just out of curiosity?
$7, $7, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, we got a little, when we were, I can't remember if we were at Animal Kingdom or where we were, but our good friend Roger Young was with us.
Sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we had to be at Epcot because we were going country to country. He really had a hankering for some sushi.
You passed the Japan exhibit,
Yeah.
and he says, hey, let's pop in here
Yeah,
for
yeah.
a nice little dim sum or a little tuna roll.
He was hell bent on some sushi.
Yes.
And I got to tell you, at that point in the day, we were moving rides and I thought he was insane.
Right.
Right. I was lucky we got through Japan pretty quick and he didn't get any, but it did make me worry for him. It didn't. But Disney, Epcot is amazing. You know the greatest part about all this is you've been to Disney. Mm-hmm. You've been when you were little. Yes. You went when you were little.
Yes.
70% of the rides that you go on are rides you rode when you were 7.
Sure.
In the ball at Epcot, and they talk about technology,
Right.
and then you come back down, and then the Small World and the Peter Pan ride, and all those rides.
The Dumbo.
All
that.
those rides, and they're nostalgic just because of your childhood.
Yes.
And these kids, like Harris, and all the kids that were with us, you would think they want to go on the upside down rides and everything else. They're into it.
Yeah.
Disney has it down to a science. You want to
Brilliant.
go. You want to go on the log flume.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You want to go on the Thunder Road or the Thunder Coaster or whatever. But you're going to do Small World.
Yes.
You're going to wait that hour and a half to get in there.
You're not going to miss that. You might even walk to the Hall of Presidents where the animated presidents say, hello, Americans.
We
Right?
did it.
Yes.
We did it.
That's a must do. You
Yeah.
got to do it. Even though, how long were your kids interested in that? Did they dig it the whole time, or were they like,
There might have been, I might have fallen asleep in that chair for a second. I got to tell you, it was
Sure.
nice and cool. It was
Exactly.
hot outside,
That-
talking about weather. Woo. Whew. Orlando, July 1st.
give me an idea. We're talking about what's the temperature, what's the humidity. Throw it all in a pot here. What we got? What are we looking at?
Somalia? It was ridiculous. It was no. And the bad thing is you had to wear masks if you were inside someplace.
Okay.
But there was still 25% of the people that were standing in line with masks on. I would look at somebody and say, at this point, with them pouring sweat into that mask, it must feel like they're getting waterboarded right now. You could see them dying a slow death in it.
Sounds terrible.
It was terrible, but it was for the kids. All the technology in the world. You could have dry fit shorts, underwear, socks, whatever. You're sweating from every orifice in your body. And I will tell you that the people that are out there in jeans,
What?
boots, oh, God, I was like, dude, what are these people? They had a death wish. My gosh. But it was fun. We had a good time.
So did you count how many steps that during a day you trekked during the vacation, like every day during?
I think the first day it was like 27 or something. It was ridiculous.
Yes.
It was ridiculous. So it was a lot for that week. But each park was amazing. We had a great time. It was great having somebody that knew what they were doing and when to get there. And he like knew where every bathroom was. I thought he had like stomach distress or something. Like all the time he's like, bathroom break, anybody needs it. So you felt like you're in preschool.
Yeah.
But it was 3 days. It was fun. Don't need more than 3 days for those parks for me.
Yeah. Which one did you like better? The Wild Animal Kingdom, Epcot, or Disney?
I think I like Animal Kingdom the best. They have that ride Soarin'. That's really cool.
That's awesome.
They've got the Everest ride, which is really cool. They have the safari and the jungle cruise.
Did you do the safari where you actually go?
Oh, yeah.
I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
That was really cool.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. So it was all great. It was all
No
great.
Star Wars rides?
We did go to Hollywood Studios and we rode the rock and roller coaster.
Yeah.
I will tell you a funny thing. There's a little boy that was with us, JB Young, okay, Roger's little boy.
Sure.
And he's not a huge fan of rides. Not a huge fan, but he was tough. He said he was going to do them all, and you had to coax him, and he'd get on it, but he's not a fan. So he wanted to do this roller coaster, but he didn't want to do the roller coaster, but he was going to do it. So we get in line, he's waiting, everything's going fine. As we start getting closer, he starts getting more nervous. I don't want to do it. Where's the exit? Can I walk with you to it, then get off? Anything you want to do, JB, you can do.
Right.
So we get in it, and it's two boys up front, Harrison and another boy, Sam, Roger and myself in one cart, and right behind me, just in case he puked, was JB and his mom.
Okay. Gotcha.
JB and his mom were behind us. So this ride starts from, like, you're in a car, and it's like 3, 2, 1, and it's like a drag race, right? You take off.
Yeah.
Okay? JB Young started screaming right when he had won. Like, top of his lungs, started screaming.
Yes.
Did not finish until we stopped. It was comedy. I mean, it went from how great is this ride to this kid might pass out because he doesn't have any oxygen.
No oxygen is getting
no
to his brain.
oxygen.
Oh,
so it was
gosh.
fun. Hollywood Studios were fun. The Tower of Terror is great, but all the Star Wars stuff over there is so crowded.
So
We didn't
slammed.
even do it.
Yes.
We
Well,
didn't even do it.
I'm so happy that y'all had a great time, and that's just a part of the vacation.
Yeah, that was
We haven't even talked about the baseball side yet.
Yeah.
Well, hit me with that. What
I'll do
happened to
that
the
real
baseball
quick.
side?
The baseball was great. It was a big tournament that we wanted to go down to. They had skills competition, which you test your double plays and home run derby and stuff like that. And then we started playing pool play on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to bracket us for Thursday, Friday. And we were in a pretty good bracket. We won 2, lost 3, but we lost games 1-0 and 3-1 and stuff like that. So it was good competition. So we got put in this bracket, and our kids in this bracket, we're with the teams we needed to play. There's teams from California and Texas and Florida and New York, and some of these guys have men on their team throwing hard, hitting hard, and I feel like we got placed in our the bracket we should have got placed in, and we ended up having a great tournament. They played great at the end. We ended up winning that bracket. So, this is the end of the year for us, and to come away with having fun in Florida, boys all had a great time winning.
Sure.
It was fun.
So one more question before we leave the Florida trip. So Harris just had a birthday. That's your son.
Yep.
And how old is he now?
12.
When do you think, because Cece, Roger's daughter, who is 6,
Yeah.
how old, she experienced it too, and we haven't even talked about that. Did she have just the best time of her life?
She did.
I heard that she had her bags packed 2 weeks before the trip, so she was ready to go.
She did.
So she's dressing up like Cinderella and Snow White and doing all that stuff, which is just fantastic. 6 years old. Now your son's 12 years old. How long does the magic last for a kid? Is it 12 years old you're reaching the pinnacle? Or is it like into your teenage years? What would you say to our listeners who are thinking about taking a family vacation to Disney World? Hank?
I think the magic part of it dies when you're 12. I think, the characters and stuff like that. I think Olivia could take her friends there at 16 years old.
Right.
You could walk in with Jennifer. You guys will meet back up in 4 hours. And they'd have a great
everybody
time.
would have
You'd have
fun.
a great time. But it's not that magic. That's the good thing about the Disney is it turns into a fairy tale for these little girls and boys.
Yeah.
Whereas, you can, as a 25-year-old, you could go around Epcot and drink every country.
That sounds like a fairy tale to me.
It does sound like a fairy tale. So I think that it's probably around this time that you don't, because, 12-year-old boy, Harris, rather than driving 9 hours and going down to Disney, let's hit up Carowinds.
Carowinds right down the road.
Let's hit this place up.
Yes.
So I think that's where it's going to end up happening.
Cool. Well, congratulations to the team and to the crew you were with. A successful Florida trip.
Thank you.
While you were in Florida, my daughter, Lucy Rose, and my wife, Jennifer, flew to Dallas, Texas, so they could compete in the national championship of for dancing, which was pretty awesome. I've come to find out there were 3 of them going on at the same time. One in Dallas, one was at Myrtle Beach, and one was like in California. We were at the Dallas one. And so long story short, they had a great time. Saw a Texas Rangers game. They went to the grassy knoll where JFK was assassinated. Did all kinds of stuff beside dance. Went to water parks, shopped, went this thing called the Cattleman's Drive, where they showed me these pictures of this huge steer with these horns that are like as wide as this room. Crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So they had a really, really great time. But the part that I want to talk about, I don't know if you saw this in the news, they flew back from Dallas to Charlotte last Sunday.
This podcast is sponsored by Jackson Creative, a custom communication agency located in downtown Hickory, North Carolina, specializing in online content creation. To learn more, visit thejacksoncreative.com. Jackson Creative, we tell your story.
The 2 flights, they flew Southwest, the American airline flight. Did you see this?
The lady?
The lady.
They tried to open the door?
Yes.
Was in the flight?
No, that's what I'm saying. Thank God. It was the same day. She was flying back from Dallas to Charlotte the same day. My sister's friend was actually on that flight. It was videoing, and somehow my sister was like, holy cow, please tell me Jennifer and Lucy Rose are not on this flight. This one lady is kind of losing her stuff on the flight. Try to open the door while they're 20,000 feet up. And she showed me a picture. The lady was duct taped to a chair. To the chair so she couldn't cause any more trouble or wreak any havoc.
So one of our friends asked me today if I felt like they were going to get in trouble for duct taping her down, or he was really concerned about duct taping her mouth.
I saw that, yeah.
Because they duct. If she tried to bite anybody or she tried to spit on anybody, it's all called off at that point. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm with those, I've often thought about if I were in a flight and somebody were to stand up and cause trouble, would I intervene? And I hope that I would, right? But I think the first thing I'd do is I'd check to my left, check behind me, and see if I could catch eyes with somebody else that's like, I'm down. Let's go. I'm with you. If you get up, I'm getting up. Yeah. And I think that that's probably what happened to that lady. It's like, I'd have duct tape her eyes shut. I'd have duct tape her whole body to that thing.
She's putting hundreds of lives in jeopardy. She tried to open the door to get out. Yeah. That is scary. And so Olivia we were talking about the story when Lucy Rose and Jennifer got home, and she was like, will the door open? I said, no, there's no way that she could open that. There's got to be some lock that there's no way that she would be able to get the door open. But, like the captain has to control that, because when you have a crash landing and you got to get that door open, I'm sure the captain does something and then you can unleash it, right? You can unlock it.
I don't know. They go through some extensive training if you're sitting in the bulkhead or the wing seat about what you're going to do with it. And I think it goes, hey, can you lift 20 pounds? You can? Well, good luck opening that door. I don't know. I don't know that it can't open, but I don't think that the captain locks or unlocks it. What if he goes down, he dies in the crash, and then forgets to unlock the back seat?
What I'm saying, there has to be another mechanism besides just me. I've got to go to the bathroom, and the bathroom's full. So let me open this door real quick, and I'll just pee out the door.
Thought it was a bathroom.
There's got to be something else that's preventing me from just opening that door.
I don't know.
That is a terrible thought. But anyway.
Terrible design.
Yes, terrible design. Thank God that was the flight they were coming back on, because that was Lucy Rose's first flight. Oh. Could you imagine? Holy cow, first flight experience. Door open, ladies duct taped to a chair. You know what I mean? That is awful. But anyway, they had a great, great time. She loved her first flight experience. The girls did well at the championship. So anyway, life goes on.
Awesome.
Now moving on to your next adventure. You got another one happening tomorrow. You leave bright and early. 5 a.m. We're coming to you now live from the Big Fan Studios on a Thursday, July 15th, I believe. So you're leaving tomorrow. What are you doing tomorrow, Hank?
We are boarding a plane and going to Jackson Hole, Wyoming.
That sounds awesome. Tell us about it.
So we were going to do this last year with COVID. So, I don't normally love to plan 2 vacations within 3-week periods of each other. Work usually doesn't really like that, frowns upon that. But we're going out there to see, I think it's important for kids and parents and people to see our country. I think that that's really important. And I kind of had this discussion with my wife of saying, hey, before Harris graduates, wouldn't it be cool to take him to all the national parks? Glacier, Acadia, Grand Canyon. So we went to the Grand Canyon two years ago. Mm-hmm. This was going to be last year. And we had to push it to this year. So, really looking forward to going to Yellowstone, going to the Grand Tetons. We're doing a rodeo in Jackson Hole. We're doing, we're rafting, whitewater rafting. So, all stuff that I want to do. There's some fires in Idaho that you can actually smell and see the smoke from.
No kidding.
But, I'm sure it's going to be fine because, that's part of the allure is you want those long range, incredible views. And that's kind of what I'm looking for, but it'll be a lot of fun. But there's wilderness out there. There's bears out there.
Bears out there. There's snakes.
There's lots of things out there. There was a lady a couple weeks ago in Montana. She had food in her tent.
Yeah.
Grizzly comes through her campground. Okay. They hear the grizzly. She takes her food and puts it out of the tent because she's like, I don't want him to come back and get in my tent.
Because she heard that bear rustling around outside?
Yeah, they knew it was a bear.
Oh,
so
Lord.
now what do? Move the food outside. Bear comes back because it smells the food, pulls her out of the tent and kills her.
Oh, good Lord.
Could you imagine?
No, I can't, Hank. No, I can't.
No, I can't. I mean, dang.
Death by shark or death by grizzly? I mean, what are you choosing? What are you choosing?
Dude, I think both are terrible. I think the shark would be quicker. I think the bear would be more painful.
Probably
because
so.
I think you drowned.
You bleed out.
And you drowned.
Yeah.
I think the bear would maul you and then go
hang out.
Maybe put a comb through his hair.
Right,
and
smoke a cigarette, then he'd come back
and
maul you some more.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wouldn't want to be part of that. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be part of either.
Yes, both sound completely terrible.
I would rather not be cornered, but I'd love to see a grizzly. I'd love to see it in the wild, on this trip. Sure. But I'd love to see him about 100 yards from me.
Right.
Not 15 feet and I walk up on mama bear and cubs.
Right. Don't blame you. So that leads me to my next segment. I mentioned about Shark Week. Shark Week officially started on Sunday, and Shark Week in our household for years and years was a big event. We all had these shark fin hats. I've told you our shark stories before. We got on the paddleboard and sharks behind Lucy Rose and Jennifer in the kayak and all kinds of fun stuff. So we're shark people. Over the years, however,
shark people.
We like sharks. We know all about sharks. We've read about them. My daughter knows every species of shark. It's just amazing. So we love Shark Week. Over the last 4 years, Shark Week has gotten just a little bit out of hand. Now their main show for Shark Week is, the movie Sharknado, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the stars of Sharknado, Tara Reid and that dude from 90210.
Ian Ziering.
Of course you would know his name, of course, because you're a big Sharknado fan.
I love Sharknado.
Yes. So they are the stars of the main show for the Discovery Week, Shark Week. And so they're Tara Reid jumping in the water with 30 black tip sharks, right? And I don't care. I'd rather see Tara Reid get chomped by one of those sharks.
I was going to say,
eat her. Just chomp on her.
I think the sharks probably saw her jump in and said, nah, she's a terrible actress. I bet you she tastes terrible. Tastes terrible. Don't even try bringing in Ziering in here.
Oh, God. All the sharks would flee the area. But that's what I'm saying. It's like it used to be informative and like educational, and we would get really into it.
No more.
No, I mean, it's out the window. So now you've got Tara Reid and Ian, and then you had Gordon Ramsay. He's the star one. Shaq was the star one last year. I think it's jumped the shark. Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
That I think Shark Week has jumped the shark.
Okay.
Yeah, so you heard that here first. This probably will be used all over the nation, what I just said.
Last year's Shark Week.
Shark Week. Jump the shark.
Most successful series in Discovery Channel history. and you're saying it will be no longer.
No longer. This is it. It won't make it any longer. But anyway.
COVID prediction by Chad. Now Shark Week leaves.
Yes, exactly. But so anyway, National Geo's got a Shark Week too. There's last 6 weeks. Discovery's is 1 week. So we have literally 7 weeks of Shark Week.
Is Geo's terrible too?
It's equally as awful.
That's sad.
It's terrible. So anyway. I digress. Hank, we started the movie, our episode 62 by saying this was the summer movie spectacular blockbuster edition of The Big Fan. Now, you haven't seen many movies you haven't been back to the theater.
I went to one in Orlando.
Did you? And what did you see, sir?
12 Mighty Orphans.
What is 12 Mighty? I don't know anything about this.
And you call yourself a movie guy.
I think I may have seen maybe a trailer, but tell us about what 12 Mighty Orphans is about.
12 Mighty Orphans, it was a show on. It was a movie about it's actually a school, and it's for orphaned kids.
Yeah.
Okay, high school kids, and this guy who ended up being an orphan comes there as a teacher with his wife, and he builds a football team. He was a high school football coach, and he built a pretty good program, and now he's come to the school to try to build a program here, okay? And it's about them getting accepted into a conference, and then it's them about getting accepted when they play, and it's all odds against them. Mm-hmm. And
which most sports movies are. Yes.
And what they accomplish and how hard they fight and everything else. And it was great because when it was raining one day down in Orlando, before it rained, we took all of the boys to play putt-putt. Then it started raining, and we had a couple hours, so we took them to the movie, and we saw this. And I will tell you,
inspiring, yes.
When I walked into that movie theater, I thought of Chad East. I said, where would Chad East sit? He'd sit 3/4 the way up in the middle.
Exactly.
I know.
Did you get that spot?
I did not.
Oh,
I let one like a third string third baseman get that one, but
kind of.
But I did sit on the end, and I did remember that's your seat.
That's the spot, man. That's the spot. The premier spot in the whole theater. The theater. But anyway, so I'm glad you actually, that means you've been in the theater before I am, because I'm going for my first trip. We're going to see Space Jam, LeBron's version, on Sunday. This is probably going to be a huge flop. However, my daughter was such a big fan of the first Space Jam, I told her we would see it. So we're seeing the opening.
Which one?
Olivia. Okay. Space Jam posters all over her wall. She loves it. So I'm going to call out a couple of these supposed summer blockbusters that are up and coming, Hank. They're going to be, actually, a few of them are on us right now. Which ones will you see? Which ones, no way? Probably many of these you've never even heard of. So the first one, Fast and the Furious 9, right? This movie is supposed to be the big blockbuster event of the summer. I believe it started maybe last week. You can pop up there real quick, Moose, to let me know, but I think it just started. So are you a Fast and Furious kind of guy?
Absolutely not.
Me either.
I would rather see Vin Diesel do a cooking show than this. It's just so far-fetched for me.
Yes.
You know, if I drove a Scion that was lowered and had some pipes on it, maybe. But I don't do that.
Yes. It's probably a fun, sit in the theater for 2 hours, eat popcorn, like fun, exhilarating movie, but I have no interest.
Nope.
So I will not see it either. So if it's supposed to save the summer blockbuster season, good luck. How about Black Widow? This is the superhero who shoots guns. Scarlett Johansson. Will you see it? It starts next week.
She can't just shoot guns. I think I saw her in the Avengers. Was she Black Widow in the
She's
Avengers?
Black Widow, yes.
The Avengers?
Yes.
Okay. So she's more badass than just shooting guns.
I mean, she can jump high. And she can do a couple flips. She can fight.
Yeah, she can fight.
But she doesn't have like a battering ram or like a
she ain't
a
gonna
shield.
She's not shooting anybody.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lasso that's made of gold that makes you tell the truth. It's no like supernatural kind of weapon. She just shoots a gun.
Yeah, so I'll probably I'm interested in it, and I'd
Yes.
probably see it when it came out on Netflix or I could watch it on Prime or something.
Right.
But I'm probably not going anywhere to see that one.
How about In the Heights? That's the one with Miranda who did Hamilton. It's like a musical. It's supposed to be kind of like Hamilton, but they're in New York.
If it's anything like your description, I'd rather go watch anything but it.
It's got really bad reviews. How about The Suicide Squad, the second one?
No.
No, thank you. Moving on. Quiet Place Part 2. Did you see
Is that a
Quiet?
scary movie?
Yeah, this one there, it's the dude from The Office. He's the director and he's the dad. And the aliens come and you can't make a sound because if the aliens hear you, they will just thrash you.
I've not seen that, but
Right in the middle of COVID is when we watched it and it was phenomenal.
Was it phenomenal?
It was so good.
well, I might watch it. I'm kind of into a scary movie right now. Reagan and I the other night watched The Conjuring.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Forget about it.
It was
that looks
okay.
terrifying.
It was okay. It was pretty good.
Was it scary?
I was all right. It wasn't terrible.
No, thank you.
Quiet Place 2. I might get up on that.
Go to Quiet Place 1 first, then follow up with Quiet Place 2 right behind it.
Okay.
How about The Jungle Cruise starring The Rock?
Rock.
It's coming in August. It's supposed to wrap up the summer spectacular season. I can't do it, bro.
I don't think I can
can't
either.
do it.
I just don't think I can. But I will tell you, I didn't think I'd like Jumanji, and Jumanji was great.
Fabulous.
Yeah, but that could have been because of Jack Black and Kevin Hart.
Kevin
too.
Hart. That helps. How about the Ghostbusters Afterlife? Have you seen this one?
No.
This is about
This
the
sounds depressing.
grandkids of the original Ghostbusters find the ectomobile and all this stuff and start slaying aliens and stuff in Iowa.
Yeah. I don't find myself going to go watch that one. That seems terrible. I'm sure they're going to have cameos from Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd.
You know that they'll be in there.
But I'm not. I don't foresee myself seeing that.
A couple more just to see if they interest you at all. This one they've been waiting on this one since the 90s. Dune. Do you remember the original Dune?
There's so much sand. How could you forget?
Exactly. And what did they call it? The spice. They're looking for the spice.
Yeah.
Hank, are you going to be looking for the spice when Dune comes out in August?
I'd rather shoot both feet off. I'd rather shoot both feet off.
I'd
Chad.
rather die in the desert dehydrated. How about this? I am looking forward to this one. Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
It's coming out this summer.
If Top Gun comes out, you throw anyone out like Teen Wolf or anything like that.
Give me another one now.
Goonies.
We're watching it.
We're doing it.
We're watching it, no doubt. They've got another Bond, No Time to Die is coming out. I'm not a huge Bond guy. Will you see it?
I'll probably see it because I think his stuff's cool, and Harris will want to see it. I think it'll be cool.
Mortal Kombat is out now. Have y'all seen that one yet?
No.
Going to?
No.
All right. Space Jam, as I mentioned. Godzilla vs. Kong, which you and I still have. Have you seen it?
No, you never invited me to go
That's
watch
right.
this movie.
Okay, so scratch that one. And then just a couple more, Hank. These were supposed to be big winners here at the box office. The Forever. Have you ever watched any of those Purge movies? Like it's anarchy against the government. So there's one day that there's no police force and the criminals can just run roughshod over the America. Roughshod. Yes. You never heard of the word roughshod?
That's not something I hear every day. No, I've not heard of Purge.
Okay, probably a good thing. Purge Forever. That comes out in August.
Sucks.
I'm sure it does. G.I. Joe Snake Eyes. What about that one?
He was my favorite. When I had action figures, Snake Eyes was my favorite because he would, he was just that cool.
The coolest.
He's the coolest.
Yes.
So I don't know. I'd have to see the previews.
And last but not least, an M. Night Shyamalan. An M. Night Shyamalan movie. He's back. It's called Old. Have you seen this trailer?
No.
Must see this trailer. I don't know if this movie is going to be fantastic or if it will be the worst movie of all time, but these families travel to an island. There was something mysterious about the island, Hank. When they walk back into the caverns, one of the scenes is this little boy, he's 5 years old, walks back into the little tunnels. He's looking for fish or whatever. He comes back out. He's like 28 years old. They've been on the island for 8 minutes. 5 years
Are
old.
the parents the same age?
Parents are still on the beach. They're kicking it. The kid went back where it's somewhere to go look for fish, and he walks back, and they're like, where's our son? And they're like, Mom. And he's like, Mom, it's me. It's me. I just have gray hair now. I walked in there 5 years old, and now I'm 28 years old.
Gray hair at 28?
I mean, he's gray. He's got a beard. Let's just say he's got a beard. Maybe not gray hair.
Okay.
But anyway, yes. So Old, it comes out in July. M. Night Shyamalan, the last 4, 5, 8, 12 that he's done are huge duds, but I got to go back to Sixth Sense, which was just such a classic. Maybe Old will get us back to that Sixth Sense
Doubt
realm.
it.
Probably not. Okay.
Swing and a miss.
Anyway, I'm going to see it for sure, so I'll let you know. Hank, we are up against a time frame right now, our time limit. But before we leave, you saw the All-Star game, baseball, right? You saw Vlad Guerrero get the MVP. His dad, just a superstar. He looks like to be a superstar in the making. Can you think of any better father-son combo in sports that would be like a Vlad and Vlad Jr., even though he's young? I think this is his second year, maybe. Yeah. I'm going to throw a couple out there. Steph and Dale Curry. That's
a pretty strong one.
That's pretty awesome. Steph, better than Dale.
Yeah.
Let's go Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonds. Barry the son, Bobby the dad. Barry was better than the daddy. Klay Thompson, Michael Thompson. Klay plays for the Warriors. Klay probably better than his daddy. Tim Hardaway Sr. and Jr. I think Senior's got Junior right now. I had Kellen Winslow Sr. and Jr. There was hardly any football players. Can you think of a football dad and son? I had Kellen Winslow, Christian McCaffrey, and Ed McCaffrey.
Yeah,
I found them. That's a pretty good one. But the majority of them all were baseball or basketball related. I didn't find many football. But
Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad.
There it is. Ken Griffey Jr. and his dad.
I mean, his dad was great, but Griffey Jr. was better than his dad.
Was better, yes. So you think more, I guess it sounds like more of the sons end up doing a little bit better than the daddies, which is interesting. Yes. Yeah. So, what did you think about that All-Star game? Did it feel good to see all those people back in the stands and baseball back in action?
Oh yeah, it was great, and to see those guys take it serious because they want to take it serious, but it was awesome. You forget, like I talked about it today. You get in a spot where you're around a whole bunch of people and you almost feel anxious because you're not wearing a mask or you're doing something wrong or something. It just felt normal. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it was awesome.
Yeah, it's good to see. Good to see. NBA playoffs in full tilt right now. We're in the championship series. The Bucks versus the Suns. Game 4 was last night.
Suns
tied
in
to
6.
It's 2-2 right now. So let's see how it goes. It's been a pretty good series. All right, Hank, so you're leaving out tomorrow at 5 a.m., brother. I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I'm going with my daughter. I'm getting her car detailed as we speak. We're getting our license next Tuesday at 11.
Yes.
So just a fair warning to anybody on the road. Even though she's a good driver, the girl will be legal next Tuesday.
Do we have to buy a new car?
She's taking my car, and I'm getting a company car.
That's always a conversation.
Yes.
So the reason I asked that is I wanted to know what this young lady was driving so I could be cautious
Yes.
if she's beside me on 127.
Yeah, she's a really, really good driver. She'll do great. But Olivia, you got to have confidence. You have to be decisive on the road. Right? If you're going to pull out, pull out.
Do it.
Just do it. Just look both ways before you do it. Right. All right, my friend. Well, safe travels to you and your family.
Thank you.
Can't wait to hear about all your escapades in 2 weeks. I'd like to say thank you to the Mesh Studio for allowing us to come in here. Please check out the wonderful other podcasts that they've got going on. I heard one real cool one about some tech brothers the other day. It was pretty awesome.
Brothers in Tech.
The Brothers in Tech. It was really, really interesting. So anyway, y'all check that out and make sure you tell all your friends about the Big Fan as well. We got 3 new downloads last week, Hank.
Yes.
3 new downloads.
Yes.
Up to 18. Come on. We're gaining on them. Have our own studio soon, Hank. We'll have our own studios soon.
Studio Z.
That's it. All right, guys. So until then, much love. Peace. Be safe.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.